Good morning, it's Bruce Phares here with Windermere Real Estate in Seattle. It's the 4th of May, it's Monday. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. We're going to go through this as fast as we possibly can and see how we can do it. We've had some surging in terms of new actives. Here on Friday, we had 48 new listings hit. The day before on Thursday, 42 new listings. If you look down here, you can kind of get a sense of that. That puts that at the highest number since shelter in place or stay at home order. And where was our lowest number here? It was right there at 0. And here's our moment of stay at home right here. We had a surge just before 35 and 34. So when we see 48 listings, we know that we've got a surge going on. That, of course, affects the bottom line in terms of the 7-day, and that's 192 there. And then this is a high for the year. This is the highest number. Yellow is high for the year. Fuschia, or whatever this color is the highest since the stay-at-home order. Let's go and take a look at the pending inspections. They also are having a surge of sorts, and here's the higher number. Here's where they were basically throughout the last week and a half or so. And so we're now into the plus 50s in terms of a 7-day time period. We'll see how that holds through the weekend. And of course, that pushes the total number up to 80. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pendings. They're pretty much hanging out there in the 60, 70, and 80 range. And nothing's really changed much there. 6 days off market, those properties that go off market within 6 days of hitting the market. We've got some high numbers here pushing up into the 50s at this point in terms of the total. Here's our high for post shelter in place or stay at home, and 400s to 420s. There we are. It's just going up and down as a result of that. Totals then, I'm not going to spend much time on it, but we did hit the 495 mark, highest since stay at home order in terms of the total volume or the total pool of those. And the ratios then, that's what kind of matters the most here. Pendings and pending inspections in relationship to newly actives on a weekly basis. You can see right there in the 90s and then coming down, drops in the 70s and comes back up again. So it's basically in the 70s and 80s, I'll call it. Pending inspection to actives total volume or total pool. We had the highest relationship of that since stay at home in the early 90 percentile, and we're up in the 80s at this point. 6 days off market in relationship to the total pending. So of all these guys that do go pending inspection and 6 day off market, how many of them do it in 6 days or less? And currently we're right there in the early 40s, 40 percentile range. And that's seller friendly, as I always say. And similarly, 6 day off market in relationship to the volume that come on market on a weekly basis. We are in the 30 range, 30 percentile, 1/3 essentially of the properties that are coming on market are going off market in 6 days or less. In this last week, you can see we dropped down from the 40. Here was our high since post stay at home. Let's go take a look really quickly at what was the high prior to that. There it was at 66%, but that was the surge that took place as a result of stay at home order. And that was this Thursday right here on the 26th. Let's go down here. So if we look at the history behind that, we can see that things were actually in the 40s here, and that was a super seller-friendly market. And we had the 50 percentile in terms of 6 day percentile in relationship to pending and pending inspection. So basically, just over half of these guys here, the pendings, were doing so in 6 days or less, and right around 40% of these that were coming on market in a 7-day time period were going off market. So let's go back up. We're almost done. Take a look at the Northwest multiple listing. They do a similar thing. They've got 114 new actives for the area that they're watching, and 135 new pendings, and that's 118% pending to active, pending to new pending to new active. There you go. I can say it. New pending to new active relationship, 110%, 129%. We had a big surge here a couple days ago, about 5 days ago, in terms of that set of numbers that MLS was putting out. Was pretty amazing as a result of a real low. And this is what drove it, is the low percentile of properties that were coming on market. It wasn't so much that these numbers had really pushed up that much. 144 was quite 10 more than that. That's nice. But here's your drop. 100 down to 88, 97 pops up again, 88, 89, and then 77, and that's what resulted in this over here. Rates right down at the low 3s, that's fine. Let's go take a look at last year at the exact same time. And let me see if I can get my deal here. Here we go. New actives in a 7-day time period was 176 with a high for the year at 202 right at that same time. And let's go over to the 6-day ratios. We were at 31% here Wow, those are way all over the place, aren't they? Well, let's just call that 30% for fun. And then this was in the, wow, that's impossible to look at to get a number out of that. Let's say this was in the high 30s and this was in the low 30s. So if that's high 30s and low 30s on those 2 6 days, let's look at these one more time. Wow, not that much different, right? So this is in the low, I'll call it the low 40s, and this is low 30s. So it's down 10% on each one of these. But this is really strong when you can consider the fact that we are still in a stay-at-home um, order environment. Okay, that's it. Hope that was fast enough. Take care. Talk to you soon.